a key advisor to Donald Trump's legal team in their post-election quest to unearth evidence of fraud, has delivered a trove of documents to January 6 investigators describing those efforts. Bernard Kerik, the former New York City police commissioner and ally of Trump attorney Rudy Giuliani, also provided a privilege log describing materials he declined to provide to the committee. Among the withheld documents is one titled Draft Letter from POTUS to seize evidence in the interest of national security for the 2020 elections. Kerik's attorney Timothy Parleter provided the privilege log to the panel, which said the file originated on December 17, a day before Trump huddled in the Oval Office with advisors including former Lieutenant Gen. Michael Flynn, where they discussed the option of seizing election equipment in states whose results Trump was attempting to overturn. Trump ultimately opted against that strategy, but his consideration of the option is one of the key questions the panel is probing as part of its broader investigation into attempts to overturn the election. It's unclear whether the letter is related to the same plan and if Trump knew of its existence. Kerik withheld it, describing it as privileged because of its classification as attorney work product. Another document provided by Kerik to the panel included emails between Kerik and associates about paying for rooms at the Willard Hotel. Kerik had been subpoenaed by the panel on November 8 as part of its investigation into the so-called war room at the Willard Hotel, where Trump allies met to strategize about preventing Congress from certifying Joe Biden's victory. The panel had originally sent a letter accompanying the subpoena that had incorrectly suggested Kerik was in the war room on January 5, leading Kerik to demand an apology. The January 6 Select Committee declined to comment on the new materials. As part of a 7-page letter to the panel, Parleter told the committee the former police commissioner would accept a voluntary interview with the panel on January 13, 2022, though he expressed concerns about the conditions of the interview and whether a transcript and recording would be released immediately after, or whether Parleter could make his own recording of the proceedings. According to Parleter, the panel retracted its agreement for a voluntary interview and demanded a deposition instead after he sent his letter to the committee. He expressed dismay at the committee's retraction of the voluntary interview. They seem more interested in creating an appearance of non-compliance than conducting an actual investigation, he said in a text message. Another 22-page document, titled Strategic Communications Plan, Giuliani Presidential Legal Defense Team, describes a 10-day blitz aimed at Republican House and Senate members to pressure them to vote against certifying the 2020 election results. The effort was focused, according to the document, on 6 swing states: Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. The document says its primary channels to disseminate messaging on these efforts included presidential tweets as well as talk radio, conservative bloggers, social media influencers, Trump campaign volunteers and other media allies. A list of key team members supporting the effort included Freedom Caucus members, a reference to the group of hardline House conservatives, some of whom backed Trump's effort to overturn the election. Other team members listed include Rudy Giuliani, Peter Navarro team, and identified legislative leaders in each of the 6 swing states. The document also described a list of actions the group intended to organize, including protests at weak members' homes, protests at local officials' homes offices and protests in D.C., rally for key House and Senate members. It is unclear if Kerik would appear for a deposition instead of an interview. A December 23 letter to the panel from Parleter had included disputed claims that the January 6 panel was structurally invalid and called its deposition process fatally flawed. The panel has previously rejected those arguments. Parleter declined to comment on the withheld documents but said they hoped the committee would agree to conditions allowing the full disclosure of all documents.